Hello there and welcome back to BNetTV.com special edition of Urban Beat. I am joined by Leo Cribs and Christina Marriott of the Calgary Reggae Festival. The festival, of course, is coming up August 11th to 18th at Shaw Millennium Park. Now, once again, amazing things that are happening that we were talking about earlier, but this year, there's some other interesting things that are going on, and one of them, which you had alluded to earlier, is the organization that you're working with, which is CUSO. And I thought for our audience that you could talk a little bit more about what that organization does and why you think this is a good fit for the Reggae Festival.
CUSO is a Canadian International Development Organization. They run a lot of programs in communities and cities across the world, in the Caribbean, South America, Asia. A lot of grassroots programming and stuff like that, dealing with issues such as like political issues, socioeconomic issues, HIV/AIDS, cultural awareness, all that kind of stuff. And they have an extensive volunteer group with volunteers all over the world helping out. And in fact, this year on our committee, we actually have a representative from CUSO who sat on the committee, and she's done some work in Jamaica and has had some experience volunteering there with some women's organizations and stuff.
Fantastic.
So, you know, it seemed like a good fit for what we were wanting to express to the people here in Calgary, and how, similar ideas and things like that. So,
absolutely. And of course, if people want to find out more about CUSO and about the fundraiser event that's going to be happening on Saturday, August 11th, once again, they can go to the website, the MySpace page, or BNetTV.com. Either way, you can get access to all sorts of information about the event. Now, just in closing up here, we were talking earlier about the theme of this year's Reggae Festival, which is 007 Bond and bonding with reggae roots.
Oh, yes.
And you had some great pictures in the festival magazine there, and I'm like, oh, isn't that adorable? And you explained to me, Leo, that there's actually a real intrinsic connection between reggae music and Bond 007. Please enlighten us.
Well, this year is the year 2007, so we tossed it all over. What are we going to use for a theme this year? And then Cindy came up with a 007 theme, and then I started thinking back. Yeah, that's not too far-fetched, because just to make it short, Bond movies, the author for all the Bond movies, Ian Fleming. After the war, Ian Fleming pretty much moved from England to Jamaica, lived in Uracabessa, just outside of Ocho Rios, and lived there for 12 years before he went back to England and died shortly after that. But he lived there with the people in Jamaica, and like he said, there was no rationing, no war, no stress, no nothing. He could just watch the fruits ripe and fall off the tree,
kick back and relax,
drink all the rum he wanted. And a lot of the early Bond film had a lot of Caribbean ties to them, Jamaican ties. As a matter of fact, 3 Bond films, including The Man with the Golden Gun, were all filmed in Jamaica, on site in Jamaica. And early reggae performers, Desmond Dekker and the Aces, Oh Seven, Ocean's 11, that movie, that song was a #1 hit across the world, talking about the Bond film, again, the whole Jamaican tie to James Bond. And even the Scatolites and a lot of artists made big hits with Bond theme music. We
Fantastic.
also, plus, Grace Jones, another one of the Bond girls as well. So we have a lot of close ties between Jamaica and Ian Fleming Bond movies. So
you are just an absolute wealth of knowledge and history. It's absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed speaking with you today. Now, I know we broke earlier and you'd mentioned you wanted to speak on one more issue with regards to one of the films that's going to be shown during the Reggae Festival.
Yeah, and it also ties in with the whole CUSO affiliation with the Reggae Fest as well, because what we're doing, one of the films is a documentary. So before the film, we're actually having a representative from CUSO and the Women's Media Watch, which what we want to bring out as well, it's not a lecture, it's just an interaction, an educational seminar, which is going to basically look at reggae lyrics and the impact that reggae lyrics has had on the developing world. The music of Bob Marley, the music of Burning Spear, the music of Lucky Dube from out of South Africa. So, we're looking at that, and how even in Jamaica, lyrics and how it affects the female population there, and how people relate to it. So we're going to look at that, reggae lyrics, and how it impacts developing countries. And we have somebody from Women's Media Watch in
Right.
Jamaica coming to actually
Well,
talk
that's
about
fantastic. We're really, really excited about the event all the way around. Once again, you can log on to bnettv.com. You can go to www.calgaryreggaefestival.com, and you can go to the MySpace page, which is myspace.com/calgaryreggaefestival.com. So all the way around, there's all sorts of ways to find information. Of course, bnettv.com is going to be on location throughout the festival. We're going to be covering all different aspects of the event, and you'll be able to check on all of these websites after the fact as well to find out if you happen to have missed anything, exactly what went on, and get excited for next year's festival all the way around. So thanks, guys, so much for joining us. That's been great. This has been a special edition of Urban Beat, and I'm Michelle Sklar for bnettv.com.